There are a lot of misunderstandings that women have when it comes to the idea of submitting to a man. Often that word itself will come with a lot of triggers, and yet it is really the key, or one of the big keys, to getting everything that you want in your love life from a man, where you are being taken care of, you are being held, your feelings are mattering to him, you're getting all of the love, attention, time, energy, and care that you need from him. The key is submission. We're going to talk about what submission is, what it isn't, and what you need to do to be able to shift into that energy, which is essentially learning how to honor your heart. Hello, my name is Zach Rohde, and I'm here to lead you into creating the relationship of your dreams by learning how to inspire a man into cherishing you using feminine communication and feminine energy. All right, so we're going to talk about two different things here: submission and compliance. Okay, so submission means following a man. You are letting go of control to be led. If you think of a dance, like a tango dance, what is happening? The man is leading the dance. He is anticipating things. He's the one that is moving things forward. He is taking all of the steps. He's paying attention to you and your level of enjoyment and making sure that you're following. You're following in that dance. That is what you are doing. You are receiving his leadership and following it. In that dance, assuming that the man knows what he's doing, you're going to have a good time, because you just get to receive his leadership. You just get to follow him. If he is competent, if he's capable, if he's considering you, if he's paying attention to you, it's going to feel really good. That is what a dating situation, like dating a man, and once you're in a relationship with him, that's what a relationship is also supposed to look like. It's a dynamic where the man is leading and you are receiving his leadership. You are submitting to his leadership. However, it's a little more complicated than that, because what matters isn't just that you are following. What matters is the reason that you are following. So if you are following because it feels good to receive his leadership, because you want to follow his leadership, because it feels like a yes in your body to follow his leadership, then that is submission. That's a true energetic letting go. It's going to feel good. However, if you are following a man's leadership to get any kind of outcome, which means you're trying to get his approval, you're trying to get his attention, you're trying to get his love, you're trying to get his time, or you're trying to avoid his reactivity, you're trying to avoid his judgments, you're trying to avoid his anger, you're trying to avoid his abandonment, then you aren't submitting. You're still following his leadership, but what you're actually trying to do is control him and control his perceptions of you to try to get a specific outcome from him. And when you do that, you are actually in your masculine energy. You're actually leading. Now, when I say masculine energy, I don't mean like it looks like really healthy masculine energy, right? Like clear, a man lovingly leading a woman. But you're in your masculine energy because you're trying to get an outcome. Masculine energy tries to get an outcome. Feminine energy does not try to get an outcome. It's just receiving an outcome that is being given. So if you're receiving an outcome from the man, like he's leading, like he wants you to do something and you're following it, but you're doing it with the intention of trying to get an outcome from him, you're actually manipulating him. And you're not doing this consciously. You're not doing it to hurt him or to try to be disrespectful or anything like that. But that is what's happening. And you're in your masculine energy. And this will not feel good for you. This is one of the easiest ways that you're going to know if you're in your feminine or masculine energy. It's not going to feel good when you're following a man and you're doing it to try to get an outcome. Typically, you are going to feel, if you're paying attention in your body, you're going to feel some level of fear, some level of anxiety. It might be really strong, might be intense, or it might be really, really subtle, but it's going to be there. So the fear is compelling you into following a man for the wrong reasons to try to get an outcome. Why would a woman do that? Well, typically this all stems from childhood, where your needs were not fully honored, you weren't fully safe, your needs weren't being fully met, and you learned that just by being the compliant good girl, you could get more of your needs met, or you could do a better job of avoiding abandonment, which doesn't necessarily mean your parents physically abandoning you. It can also mean them emotionally abandoning you, right? Being angry at you, closing their heart to you in some kind of way, neglecting you. So you learned that complying, following leadership, equals some level of care and needs being met. And so you learned how to dishonor your heart to get your needs met. You learned how to do it by being in your masculine energy, trying to get an outcome, trying to manipulate an outcome. And there's many problems with that, right? It doesn't feel good. You're in your masculine energy. It's stressful, all of that stuff. But one of the other reasons that this is a problem, to be in this compliant energy, is it typically doesn't work out very well for you, especially in the long term. Because what happens is a man is going to, on some level, feel what you are doing. He's going to feel that you are not in your feminine self-worth. Because to be in your feminine self-worth, you're just letting go. Like you're in your feminine energy, just fully receiving him and also expressing everything that's coming up for you. If you're trying to get outcomes from him, to get his approval or to avoid his disapproval, you're not in your self-worth. He's not going to feel it. He is going to lose respect for you. He's going to lose that inspiration to want to take care of you. And he's going to typically act more selfishly. He's not going to be as interested in just showing up and being present in the relationship. You will be more likely to just abandon you and move on and find somebody else. And you'll also be more likely to attract the wrong kind of man in the first place, who is more likely to take advantage of you for being compliant. Right? So you can think of the a-hole, basically, where his needs come first, your needs come second, sometimes a very distant second. It's much more about him, and he makes you basically put a lot more into the relationship than he's putting in. That's going to hurt you. And the more that you do that, the more that it's going to hurt you. And you're essentially doing that to yourself because you're allowing it to happen through your compliance. And then, of course, what happens is if you do this long enough, maybe it takes one man or two men, three men, like multiple relationships with different men, different experiences, you get hurt enough times. And then you might start to think, ooh, submission is bad. Like, I don't want to do that. That means I'm not in my self-worth. I'm not going to follow a man. I'm going to be empowered. I'm going to be strong. I'm going to be independent. No man is going to tell me what to do. I'm not going to follow a man in any way. And if you get to that point, then you're in a situation where you're out of the frying pan and you've hopped into the fire, so to speak, in relationship terms, because your needs aren't going to get met that way either. Because now you're disrespecting the man. His needs aren't going to be met because his need is to lead in the relationship. His need is to be the one that's seen as the hero, seen as the man, the one that's in charge, the one that's making the decisions. So resisting him and stepping up and leading yourself, that doesn't solve anything. It might be better than being a doormat, right? Because at least you're probably not getting hurt to the same level as you are if you're being taken advantage of because you're just complying with undevoted leadership. But you're not going to get devoted leadership by shifting into being more resistant, being empowered, so to speak. And when I use that word empowered, I mean it in a sense that many women often do, where it's not real feminine empowerment, right? Feminine empowerment is submission. It's letting go of control. It's fully receiving a man, doing it from a place where you're honoring your heart, where it feels good to follow him. The question is, what if a man is leading in an irresponsible or unsafe or selfish way where you can't energetically submit, where following his leadership, it would have to be compliance? That's where you need to learn feminine communication. That's where you need to learn how to communicate your needs and feelings and the problems that you're experiencing in a vulnerable and receptive way and respectful way, where a man is understanding what you need, what's going on, what the problem is, and is inspired to do something about it, so that he adjusts his leadership, maybe taking accountability, maybe shifting what he wanted you to do, maybe giving you clarity on what's going on, so that you can follow him from a place of honoring your heart, so that it becomes real submission rather than compliance. And when this happens, your self-worth is going to come more online, which means he's going to be more attracted to you. He's going to be more connected to you. He's going to be more inspired to want to take care of you. This shifts everything. Feminine communication, not just the words, but also the energy. It's the key to being able to be in a submissive energy, which is what inspires a man to want to cherish you. That's what you need as a woman. You need to be cherished. So you need to learn feminine communication so that you can let go in a safe and heart-honoring way. Okay, this is what we teach in our academy program for women. We teach you all of this communication. We show you how to let go. We help you practice the communication. This is also what we give you a really great taste in our master classes, where we show you how to communicate. We role play it for you, show you exactly what it looks like. We teach you all about what I'm talking about here, except we go really deep into the communication and what it looks like, what it feels like, how to use it. All of my links for my offers, including the Academy and including the Masterclass, they are below this video in the description. So make sure after this video you check it out, open that up, and start learning. You can have a man that's inspired to cherish you. You just got to take action. Go to that description, click a link, start learning.